Here we go.
I'm recording there.
Recording there.
Annoying me here.
I'm annoying you here. We're going to talk about healing. We're going to talk about my relationship with my father and the journey that it has been on and all that good stuff.
Okay. So let me ask you, some of the awkwardness with your father, did it have anything to do with your sexuality?
Oh, yeah. I thought, so last year, since we're going to go there, last year, I've been feeling for a while that I was a disappointment to my dad for something that I did not choose, could not choose. No matter what people think about it, I didn't wake up and was like, hey, this is what I'm going to choose for the rest of my life, to be an outcast or really go through all this pressure. And so I felt, as my dad's namesake, my dad is the youngest of 17 children. I felt bad that I would not be the son to have a wife, have children. You know what I'm saying? Even though my sister has 2 boys, it's still not the same. Their last names are not Wade. And I just felt completely guilty. And I felt when I talked to him that he was completely disappointed. So I was dodging his phone calls for weeks. I was one that was dodging. He would call, I wouldn't pick up. Be like, I'm too busy. So when we finally did talk, I was brave enough to bring up the conversation and be like, hey, Dad, this is what I feel when we talk. I feel like you're disappointed in me. And then my dad being my dad, boy, I ain't thinking that. my dad was like, boy, I ain't thinking that. He thought I was holding his past against him. And what he was doing was going to this freaking shoebox. If I ever find it, I'm burning it. I don't know what camera's going to catch. I'm burning that day. I'm burning that shoebox. I wrote him letters when I was younger telling him how much I hated him and how much, like, I think I told him I wanted him to die. But I was just angry because he left and he wasn't in my life. And I went through a lot of stuff and he wasn't there to protect me. So he was going back and reading these letters. And I was like, wait, what? So I thought he was disappointed and he thought I was holding the past against him, which is why this Father's Day, I sent him 29 cards for every year that we've spent apart on Father's Day so that he would know, number one, how much I love him. And literally, I kept repeating over and over how much I loved him in these letters and why. Like I gave examples and told him whether it was him starting his restaurant, the way he loves Delilah and I, who's my sister that we share the same dad, how he kisses us goodnight even now. If I go spend the night with my dad, he's going to kiss me goodnight. And around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, that door to the bedroom is going to crack open and I'm going to see him like a little creeper. He's going to be looking. He just watches us sleep. And I just pretend sometimes that I'm sleeping, but I know, but that's his way of just loving us and just wanting to be there. So this Father's Day, that's what I did for him. Just let him know that I love him and that I forgive him. But that's been part of this healing journey, as you would say. Coming up through my life with my dad leaving, us having to move to Union, South Carolina, my first memory, this is what I will say. The years in Belgium, I call them, what did I used to call them? The years that made sense. Because I remember watching scary movies with my dad. I remember specifically watching like Freddy Krueger and sitting in my dad's lap. I remember the air of Belgium and like the crispness of it. I remember walking across logs over streams and like being in the woods with my dad. Like I remember the playground. I remember being stung by a bee. I remember being punished for like picking on my sister. I remember walking down the hallway in our place. I remember so much in the first 4 years of my life. My first memory of leaving Belgium and coming back to the States was me crying erratically on a plane. And I remember sleeping on a floor because my mom was trying to find where we were going to live and being very cold. So my journey to get to forgiving my dad has been very hard.
How were you able to forgive your father?
It's been a journey. It has been a journey, but I will say my faith has played a very big part in it. And you got to understand those cards for those 29 years, that's this year. Mm-hmm. My dad hasn't received anything for his birthday or Father's Day for years.
Even after this is the first time. Wow. Okay, so what was the catalyst to this year? Like, why?
My dad sent me a card And in it, it was random. It's not for my birthday. It's for nothing. He sent me a card just to let me know that he was proud of me. And he put $50 in there. He said, I know you're busy, but this is for lunch. Go have fun. It's on me. That card sent for no reason other than I love you, son. It broke something in me. I think that the other things he had been doing for years was chipping away. And that was just the last thing that went, all right. And it broke through and I was like, okay, my dad deserves to know how much I love him. And I need to tangibly do something for that. Because you got to understand, there would be years I wouldn't even call for his birthday. Now, what is true, I would forget his birthday. Like I would forget the day. What's not cool though, is that his birthday is only 7 days after mine.
But I get it, because I look, is it the 4th or the 5th?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But my middle sister never missed. So now if it gets close, I'm like, Delilah, what's the birthday? Mm-hmm. But what it was, I was subconsciously still angry, I think. I was subconsciously still like not forgiving. I feel like what forgiveness does do is it allows you to now finally clean up the house. So for me, unforgiveness is like you live in this dilapidated home, or it's just a very messy home, broken home, like metaphorically, the structure of it. Unforgiveness keeps you in that. You can bring in some pillows, you can bring in a nice couch, but it's still a dilapidated home. Forgiveness goes, oh, now I can start to really remodel. That's what that does for me.
Do you know why your father left? Did he ever tell you why he left?
My dad will just always say I was stupid.
He was stupid.
Yes. That's all he says is like, whenever we talk, he'll just be like, I was dumb. I did not make the right decisions. I think he got caught up in party life, party culture. Yeah. But this is what I will say about my dad. My dad has been consistent for years. I don't have the story of the dad that left and 20, 30 years later, he's still not there, or he doesn't reach out. No, I'm telling you, my dad will call and call and call and call. My dad's thinking about me right now. I promise you. My dad is at home thinking about me right now. But what does make me become emotional thinking about my father is I know that when he looks at parents with their small kids, he thinks about my sister and I.
Is that with regret?
Oh, yeah. Regret.
That's sad.
Because he missed out. So I don't have a father that is not trying. My dad tries every day. My dad prays for me every day. You know? So I'm not going to keep him in a prison for what? If anything, I'm like, man, get past this. Like, let's go. Like, move past it. So, yeah.
So once he got these cards then.
Yeah.
What was his response?
Proud.
Oh, proud of what, though?
My dad is proud to be my dad. When I talked to him, he said, I just love you so much. And I don't know why, but I'm so lucky to be you and Delilah's father. Because out of all the things that my sister and I have been through, my sister's been through a lot of stuff too, both of them. But we're not statistics. We're both educated. My sister has her family. She's doing well. You know, it's all these things. And we both love him no matter what. Like, she just went to go visit him with her 2 sons. And my dad finds it just an honor to be our dad, which is really cool. And he's like placed one of the cards, the last card that I sent him, on his little, like, I think in the living room, which I'm like, Dad, I think I wrote some personal stuff in there. I don't know if you want to display that out there. But he did tell me that every day he went out, because after the first day, he was like, whoa, what is this? He said, I was like, did something happen?
Well, Dad voice.
I don't know. My dad's going to hear this and be like, I don't talk like that.
That's insulting. And my mom would be so mad because I did that before. She's like, I don't sound anything like that. I was like,
my dad is going to be like, I don't sound like that. Why are you doing this?
No, you're doing the old black song. Like, what is that? Like, is that your dad's voice?
This is not his voice, but this is...
And you get this picture of some, like, Neanderthal kind of...
No, because that voice does come out. That voice does come out when like, we disagree. Okay, perfect example. We're talking about the cards. So he tells me, like, oh, every day that the cards came, I put all the mail aside, and then I would read your letters. I would read them one card by one card, and I would just take it in. Then I'll go to the next card. Just beautiful moments, right? So like 15 minutes goes by and we're talking. I'm like, I love you, Dad. He's like, I love you too, son. And then I say, hey, you watching the game tonight? He said, yeah, I'm watching the game tonight. I said, hey. And then he was like, who you going for? I said, hey, I would love for the Suns to win because, Chris Paul's on it. He goes, boy, I don't want no Chris Paul winning that. Now, he did go into that voice then. So that voice is when he's just like, boy, I got something to tell you.
It's like a whole